Hello everyone, this is Debbie Henderson from Debbie's Designs. Welcome to video number 2 using the December paper pumpkin kit. If you were with me earlier, I just finished a video showing you how to assemble your kit. And let me show you the cards that we created, which are the cards you see on the brochure here. This was card number 1 that we did. And then card number 2, card number 3, and then I created the 3 projects on the back here that Paper Pumpkin has started including now. This was card number 1 where I ran out of the gold foil branches, so I created my own. Card number 2, and then we had the 2 scrapbook layouts using some of the leftover pieces. So hello everyone, I'm glad you're back for video number 2. So let me get situated. This is Paper Pumpkin December, called Something for Everything. Now the 3 projects I'm going to show you tonight are my own alternatives. So let me bring in what I've got for number 1. Now I've gone ahead and used the card base with all the flower designer paper on the front. I've used the largest circle die from the Layering Circles and cut a hole in the front. So you can use this for another card if you want to. I've gone ahead and cut a second piece of Whisper White. This measures 7.5 by 5. Scored at 3 3/4. So 7.5 by 5, scored at 3 3/4. What we're going to do with this piece, we're actually going to add glue to the back. So we're creating a card inside a card. Now this one opens this way. We're going to have this one open this way. I'm going to glue that right in the center. Now I'm going to close this and I'm going to start adding some flowers in the background. Now I do have my embossing buddy here. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with that. So I'm going to add 1 flower there. I'm going to add another one up here. And I want to add a 3rd flower, but if you go ahead and glue that right here, it looks like a hot mess. What I want to do is raise it up so that it pops and it shows up better. This is where my embossing buddy comes in. I'm just going to pat it down. I'm going to actually take the stickiness. Okay, it's no longer sticky by doing that. So now I can go ahead and add dimensionals. I just didn't want the little tiny ends to stick everywhere. So that's why I use the embossing buddy to take the sticker part out. Now I'm going to add this flower, and you can see, doesn't that look better with it being popped like that? It just stands out more. I'm going to add a few leaves. So for those of you that have come back for video number 2, I'm glad you're sticking with me. Okay, so that's what I'm going to put inside the circle. See, it opens this way and then you have the flowers on the front. Now this is a piece from a leftover piece from one of the card bases. It measures 1 by 4 1/4. I'm going to go ahead and glue that to the front. And I'm trying to center that between here and here. Next, I've got a little sliver of gold. Now, when you guys peel your stickers off of your sheets, there's a lot of leftover gold. That's where this comes from. I just cut a sliver off to use. I'm going to go ahead and add some glue. It is too long, so I'm just going to trim once I have it glued in place. I'm going to add that to the center. And then I bring in my scissors and trim both of these pieces, which are a little too long. Now we're going to do the sentiment. I'm opting to use Shaded Spruce for this one. And this one says, "Feel better soon." Now, if you were with me last night on my video, I was telling you how I'm out of get well and thinking of you and feel better soon. So I'm going to be creating a lot of those type of cards only because I need to replenish my stash. And this is the time of year it seems like we use a lot of those types of cards, plural, not card. Okay, and that's gonna go right there. So that's it for this card. Actually, we could add a little bit of bling to that, I think. Now remember, I don't do these ahead. I just think as I go. I'm gonna add a little bit of bling in the background. So how about like so? And then you can decorate the front as you like. You could even use the little circle that I just cut from here, and you could do something with the inside, but I'm not going to do the inside today. I just wanted to show you the way this card opens in both directions. So there's alternative number 1. So let me go ahead and set up for my number 2. Now this one, I am using some new ribbon from the mini catalog. This is called Metallic Edge, and it is petal pink, but I thought it went well with the Grapefruit Grove also. So what I've done with this one, I changed up the way I'm folding my card base. Instead of folding it on this pre-scored line, I actually scored at 3 1/4 and 7 1/4, and it's going to overlap each other. So instead of being 4 1/4 inches wide, this is actually 4 inches wide. I've added a piece of tear and tape on the back. I'm going to go ahead and peel that. If I don't do this now, I'm going to forget. This is where the ribbon comes in. I'm going to stick that to the back. And then I'm just going to cut. I'm not even measuring, so I don't even know how long this is. I know I'm going to have to trim some. This is a piece of old olive, and it measures 5 1/4 by 1 inch. I'm going to add that to the flap. I just felt that it needed a second color there. Okay, that's going to go on the flap. Now for the inside, I'm going to do the inside first. I don't like this score line right here, even though I didn't fold it on the score line. So I'm going to add a piece of Whisper White to the inside just to clean it up a bit. There, and that covers that score line. And then I have 2 pieces of the card front from another card. These both measure 5 1/4 inches long. This one is 3 inches wide and 1 inch wide. I wanted to decorate the inside of my card also. So there's the piece that goes on the flap. And then this one's going to go to the left. Okay, so there's the inside. Now we're going to fold this over. I'm into the two card thing tonight. So the other card had the 2 pieces that open. We're doing the same thing with this one. This time it's going to be in the front of the card. Shaded spruce, 6 inches by 4 1/4, scored at 3. So I'm going to add glue only to where the flap is. So you're just going to add a little bit of glue. Wait a minute. I just goofed. Hold on. I'm going to cover this up. This is a piece that goes on the inside. I added glue to the wrong piece. It should have been right here. So the glue needs to be added where the fold is. And that's going to go right in the center. So then you open up to the white side. Now we're going to do a little bit of stamping before we glue this piece down. I'm using Old Olive ink with the flower image. Again, I'm going to ink stamp on scrap. I want a lighter image. And I'm trying to go diagonal. The reason I'm doing this one this way is because I had so many of these little tiny flowers left over. So there's my diagonal. I'm going to add one more flower right here. It just looks naked. Now, in amongst these flowers, I'm going to add some of these Grapefruit Grove flowers. Just going to fill this up. And then I'm going to bring in the shaded spruce with, let me see what, oh, I was going to use Just Because on this one. And I'm actually going to stamp that right here. And then I'm going to go ahead and add some bling to my little flowers. I'm going to dress them up. So yes, that's why I told you I might end up running out of bling because I'm using a lot on this card. Now let me move this over, bring my card back in. And what I want to do here is glue this down with dimensionals. And that's going to go right on the front. And you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to flip my ribbon towards the front. I need to have the ribbon under this one. Okay. And then this is going to go right on the front. And then we can just tie this into a bow. And I'm going to tie the bow as close to the little card as I can. I still want this card on the front to be able to open. I didn't want to shut it with the ribbon. Boy, I didn't leave myself much ribbon there on the end. And that way you can still open this card, have a little message, and then they'll need to open the ribbon to be able to see the inside of the card. So there's card number 2, a great way to use up the little flowers. We have so many of them. Now let's move on to card number 3. And I'm using some punches on this one. Now I did bring in the gold envelopes and the gold foil card bases to use on this one. I'm going to face it vertically. And because I told you in my previous video, I got carried away using all of my gold pieces, right? So what I'm going to do with this one, you have room here on these scraps to get some leaves. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut some leaves. Now hopefully I can take them apart. The stem will not be too long on these, but it's going to work the way I intend it to. So there's 3. I'm gonna see how many I can get. I think I only need, I'm gonna do 4 for now to see if that's enough. And I have a piece of the terracotta tile card base. This one is 3 3/4 by 1.5. I'm going to go ahead and glue this a little bit below center. And then I've got this piece that I had left over. This one is 1 1/4 by 3 3/4. And that's going to go right in the center. Now, I think I'm not even going to try to peel these. I'm just going to use the liquid glue. And I'm actually going to tuck them under that strip. So that's why I said it didn't matter if I didn't have the whole stem. So I'm going to do 2 like that. Let me see, and then I'm going to do 2 on the bottom also. So see, there was a use for the leftover scraps from those gold pieces. Okay, I'm gonna do that. Now, this is one of the new punches in the mini catalog. I've gone ahead and cut a Whisper White and a terracotta tile. I'm going to show you how. Now, what did I want to use for a sentiment? I wanted to use thank you right here. I want to show you how to split up your words because these are quite long. All of the sentiments are quite long. So all I do is I clean my stamp, make sure there's no residue. I'm going to bring in the terracotta tile. And I'm actually going to just ink the thank. Okay, there's just part of the word. I'm going to go ahead and clean my stamp again. Pounce to get the residue off. Now I just want to ink the U. So you're going to see some of the sentiments are actually three words long. So see, I've split it up. Very simple to do. Now what I wanted to do, I didn't think that this would stand out a lot, so I cut a terracotta tile the same size, but I'm actually going to cut it in half. I'm going to add glue to the top and the bottom, and you'll see what a difference the layering is going to make. So now that I've got it cut in half, I'm going to add a little bit to the top. See how that outlines? Going to do the same thing on the bottom. And that looks like it was meant to be. You can't even tell that that was cut in half. Now, where are my dimensionals? We're gonna pop that over onto the right-hand side, just like that. And then I'm going to add some more bling. So I did not run out of bling. I thought for sure I was going to. Let's see, I'm just gonna add one down here. So there's that card with lots of gold, and then of course you have the gold envelope that matches that. So let me bring all three of the cards that I just created. And again, if you missed my first video that I just did, you can go back and view it. It always stays on my page. So there's card number 1, or number 3. Then let me untie the bow. This is card number 2. So you can go ahead and stamp on the inside. And then we had card number 1 where I cut out the circular hole to make the inside pop also. So there you have it. So my 2 paper pumpkin videos are complete. I am now going to clean off my counter, and I'm going to come back. Give me about 5 or 10 minutes with a celebration sneak peek day number 4. So I'll see you in a little bit. Thanks for coming along.